It's August 24th and I'm here at Multnomah Falls, Oregon. This is the highest year-round waterfall in America. Well, in the United States. I believe South America has even higher. It's 620 feet tall, and I'm about to hike up this quite majestic. It's actually two falls. We're maybe 30 miles away from our previous place we slept last night, and it's significantly cooler, more lush, green vegetation everywhere. There's the lower falls, and back behind the trees is the upper falls. And I'm gonna go walk up to that bridge right now, and maybe beyond. We'll see how we feel. Benson Bridge is coming up. I guess that's what they call that bridge. Already getting winded here, just going the first 0.2 miles. But the slopes here are really a lot more than yesterday. Now, we were upstream of the Columbia River yesterday in Mosier, Oregon, and I thought those slopes were steep, but this is got to be 80 degrees. I mean, I'm almost holding this camera above my head to look at the ridge up there, and they've got all of these thick chain link. It's a chain link fence with a thicker chain link on top of that, supported with steel I-beams, and they got those I-beams reinforced with cables tied into the mountain. I don't know what those rings are doing like that. That's weird. Got these rings that look like maybe they take up slack during a rock slide event. So it's not too rigid. It's got hold, but it's not too strong, I'm guessing. And now we're at the bridge. We're at the upper Multnomah Falls. Yeah, and that's just a vertical drop, 620 feet. Yeah, and by the time it hits these rocks, most of the way down, it looks like it's a free fall from the top down to that point there. So I'm guessing that's 2/3 of the way down, so 400-foot drop, gravity drop. I'm told this is called a plunge fall when the water is not in contact with the rock. So the plunge fall portion of the falls is 400 feet. Then it hits some rocks behind these leaves. So it's like that, yeah. Way up there. I can't even get it into my camera lens. My camera zoom is not wide enough. And they're explaining here on the sign that a lot of these channel that's down below here, and how it got so deep is that water chisels during the winter time, because in the winter this place is very cold and this water would be freezing. That water gets frozen into various nooks and crannies and expands, breaks up the rock, and gouges this even deeper. Of course, gravity and the impact of that water there is eroding the rock as well. All right. I'm gonna cross this bridge, and it continues going up. So we'll see if we can get to the top.
Good job, babe.
This is the bridge here where everybody wants to take a photo, of course. Very nice spot. Yeah, down at the bottom of the falls is a pool. Way up there. So that's 90 degrees up, like a sheer cliff. Feel a little bit of mist. We hear some sound. I think it would be a little louder, but and I'm told that in the fall. Right now we're in the fall right now, and the water is not as bad. It's fairly dry in Oregon overall. So the volume of water isn't that much. In the spring, when the snow is melting and there's a lot more waterfall here, this is a raging waterfall. So that would be a cool thing to see. Not this trip. All right, we're gonna continue walking up. It's real steep here. So even if you're cold, don't worry about it. You probably don't need a jacket, because the first few hundred yards will get your heart pumping and your body temperature up. Ooh, my arm is getting tired. I'm holding the camera angle up so high. One last vantage point. Look at this. Wow. They've got it tightly fenced off. They don't want you swimming here. One of my favorite things to do is to swim at the bottom of a waterfall. So that's where we had breakfast, at the Multnomah Falls Lodge. It's a beautiful building. It's actually 100 years old. And to the left of the building, there's a glass stuff there. Try to zoom in. This was built in the 80s. That part there. There's an extension. It's a glass roof. That's where we had our breakfast. That glass roof is able to look over here and see this. What a great breakfast. Be able to watch the falls and enjoy that. So after breakfast, we walked up to this point. You can see the Route 30 there, and then that's I-84 going off to Portland, and there's the Columbia River. Look at that. Since we're getting close to Portland now, the river is very wide, very deep. It's a major thoroughfare at this point. I guess our climb up is 5% grade. Gotta be careful here. There's no handrail and a steep slope. Danger of falling, with some goofy stickers added on by tourists. All ages, all types of people are enjoying this walk. It looks like a fairly well paved, although it's kind of chunky. There's a trip hazard. It's definitely not wheelchair accessible, but I'm not wearing boots. I'm just wearing sandals, and it's fine. So far, no issues. We can hear some highway noise down below, because as it was before, these paths are carved into the slopes of the Columbia River Gorge, and it's not really that far from the highway. We're having to take breaks every few minutes just because I had a big fat breakfast and then go on a significant exercise. So I'm taking it easy, no big deal. I'm smelling some roses. Okay, we're 300 feet up now. We got some burned forest. Looks like last year because the brush is back. Lots of poison oak around here, and I'm highly allergic to that stuff, so I'm staying on the trail. And we've been walking up a series of switchbacks as we climb up. I tell you, it feels a lot higher than 300 just judging by my heart rate, and I'm already sweated out my shirt. And the sun still isn't on us yet. It's not over the ridge to my left, because we're on the steep hillside and the sun hasn't risen above that. It's still only 10:15 in the morning. In the afternoon, the sun's going to be across the river, actually kind of that way, and it'll be a lot harder of a hike. And we're about to get to the end of this switchback. I believe we're on number 4 out of 11.
It was.
Please stay on the trail. Lots of people have gone up and are coming back down already. Of course, they make it look easy. They're going down. Here's a good example of the forest fire. It's like singed, but it's interesting. The fire didn't get to the tops of the trees. It burned up the bottom really much.
Can you please just stop and pay attention to the road? Would you put in your feet?
Here it is, switchback 5 of 11. So we're about halfway up. We just switched back. There's the falls again. Onward we go. All right, we're at 650 feet above an elevation. And I'm going to say the trail quality is medium now instead of high quality at the very bottom. The rock is a little loose. It's a little more loose rock and gravel. They've been paving it, but it's narrower, and some of the areas that they paved are kind of broken up. Little washouts here and there, so you definitely have to watch your step. The trail is well marked, so it's not like getting lost or anything is a problem. It's just better shoes quality is starting to become important. All right, just catching some breath, looking at the Columbia River and admiring how steep the slope is. That's I don't know if you can see down there, there's the previous switchback is just pretty much directly below me. Once in a while you'll see a person walking by there. And as they're going down here, that switches back and comes over here. You can see guys, oh yeah, there's some. Here's a couple guys. So we're just doing that back and forth 11 times. Okay, we crested at about 700 feet, then started going downhill, and now we're going down the final segment, stairs. Wow. So we started from down there, I don't know if you see. It's way down there. That's where we parked our car. And then right about here is where the trailhead is. And then to the right over here is where the switchbacks were all. Went off to the right and came up from behind where I'm standing now to get to this kind of observation deck, and I'm standing right at the edge of the falls. Yeah, you can almost see straight down. I'm holding onto this camera with both hands. If I drop it, it's gone. Yeah, so this is the last tidal pool, or I guess a area of slow water before it creeps around there and goes over the fall. That's the edge of the waterfall, and this is upstream. And some rocky falls there. It's basically a river upstream from here. I don't see any fish or anything. It's hard to see with all the sunlight reflecting. And there's the sun just above the mountaintop. The focus is terrible. And these are the stairs that we got here. This is kind of the end of the trail. It's worth it though, beautiful. It's kind of loud. A lot of other tourists here doing the same, just like me, taking pictures, soaking up the environment. The trail right before these stairs was no longer paved. It was more like a dirt path until this very last set of stairs, and the stairs is nice. But there's no other way to get here than following the path. To try to hike it yourself through this wilderness, you'd need climbing gear with ropes and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite a treat for amateurs like me to have a trail to walk on. Otherwise I just wouldn't be seeing things like this. So maybe 100 feet up from the waterfall, 100 feet upstream, is this nice little clearing with kind of access to the river that's reasonably safe. People are kind of jumping in the water and touching it and things like that. I'm probably going to do it. And a good spot to rest. Some logs and things laying down. Overall, it's pretty safe. Might be slippery here. I'm going to put my phone down. So I'm checking the water with my feet, and it's fast moving, as you can see. Temperature, I'm thinking, is below 70 because my feet are getting cold very quickly. But it's nice after a long walk when my body temperature's up. Be up here, sit with my feet in the water for 5 minutes and lowers the body temperature down. Feels great. It smells good. Water is crystal clear. There's some light growth on the rocks, kind of the green mossy stuff. I walked down here in my sandals. It wasn't too slippery. I've been in other areas like this that are a lot more slippery. But these rocks don't seem to be getting too slippery in the edge of the water. Super nice. Okay, we're making our way back out, and this was the highest point along our trip. This side is where that river is that goes out to the waterfall, and on the other side, also going down slope, is the Columbia River side. So this direction of the path is going downhill. And that direction also goes downhill. We're at like the peak. There you have it, folks. Back to the trailhead. So we did the top of the falls, 1 mile up to the top. And at this point I'm basically at the path to the parking lot. So 1 more mile from this point all the way up. It's a pretty steep upward mile. Pretty easy on the way back. So now I'm at the lodge at the very bottom near the street, and I got the summary. We've been walking 1 hour and 50 minutes since we started. At the bottom, went to the top and back down again. The entire round trip is 1 hour and 50 minutes. Body temperature went up 1.1 degrees Fahrenheit. I have a smartwatch that tells me that. I thought my body temperature would get lowered by the dipping in the water. I dipped my feet, hands, and splashed a bunch of water on my face. It felt cooling, but my smartwatch did not report any lowering of body temperature. Very nice walk, and I might be mispronouncing it, but that's the Multnomah Falls. That's how you spell it. M-U-L-T-H-O-M-A-H. Multnomah Falls. Great hike. Highly recommend it.